So I'm Josh. I am the founding data scientist here at Clay. The company was growing fast and needed answers to a lot of the questions they were asking. And some of those questions pertain to the impact of this thing or the impact of that thing. And it's only with A/B testing that you can really quantify if something moved the needle on those metrics you care about. And so my first job was just getting people's mind wrapped around experimentation, right? And then Eppo came in as the tool that basically just makes this whole process very zero lift. From the feature flagging side of things, engineers design those feature flags, and then they can just launch those experiments with a click of a button in Eppo. And then I was able to automate those analyses, right? Which is super valuable in my world as like a founding data scientist who was the only data scientist at that point. Something that would have taken hours to set up and then actually analyze on the backside of these things took all 5 minutes now.
So my name's Luna. I work as an engineering manager for our product team at Clay. We use feature flags in a number of ways at Clay. The first is to gate features. So to make sure that the feature we're shipping is high quality, to make sure that if something's wrong, we can turn the feature off, to make sure that we're gradually rolling out the feature in case there are issues. The second way is for experimentation. We want to be able to learn about the features that we're shipping to make sure that they're helping customers and to make sure like we're understanding how these features are being used. And feature flags allow us to do that. So before Eppo, we had our own in-house feature flagging system. And so when an engineer wanted to add a feature flag, they would have to do a lot of code modifications. We had this one doc where we would basically have to type like feature flag A equals true in like 5 different places. If we wanted to change anything, it would have to be a code push and then a deploy. And we didn't have any experimentation. It was purely a ship to prod, like 100%, or don't ship at all. We knew that we wanted to focus more on like growth and activation, and these things like all require a lot of experimentation to prove out.
Yeah. I think when I started exploring A/B testing tools, one of the most important things was a tool that could be placed on top of the data stack I'd already built, right? In the form of Snowflake. I want all of our tools to use data from within Snowflake, right? And so what was really appealing about Eppo was that it was a tool that used all that data I was already using for all these other things, right? So that I could be sure that that data was the same data I was using over here and over there and over here. Every experiment I know I run is using the exact same metric definition with the exact same data flowing from Snowflake.
The onboarding experience was very simple. I feel like it took the engineers all 5 minutes to learn. It's super easy to set it up in the code. We wrote a React hook called use Eppo flag. That's just like a really light wrapper around the Eppo code. And engineers just type use Eppo flag with like whatever their feature flag is to use it. The interface for experimentation and the feature flagging is also very simple as well. We can now turn on and off experiments, and feature flags is just like a click in a GUI interface. And the engineers can also do their own experimentation now, which is exciting because we couldn't before we were just relying on our data scientists. I think Eppo, the support we've gotten from Eppo has been fantastic.
We redid our entire onboarding survey flow, where we traditionally just ask you a bunch of questions about who you are and why you're using us. We designed a new flow that actually took more steps than the previous one, and there's a big internal debate around, hey, of course, if you increase the number of steps in this flow, sign-up rates are going to decrease, right? With A/B testing, we're able to say, that might be true, that might not be true. Let's go test it and see, right? And what we actually saw when we ran the experiment was that this survey flow with more steps than the previous one actually statistically significantly increased the sign-up rates, right? And so that's a great example of an engineer having an idea and having a belief that may have went against common knowledge that was actually validated through A/B testing and unlocked growth.
So before Eppo, we couldn't do gradual rollouts of our products. And so it was either all or nothing. Eppo really gave us the ability to have more nuance in who we could show the features to. And then it also gave us the ability to, if there's a bug, just be able to turn off the feature. It really enabled us to do technical changes in a safer way. And then we also can now run experiments to make sure that no metrics dropped with a big migration, which we couldn't before. We would just like pray.
So as a data scientist, and specifically as a data scientist who has done A/B testing and experimentation without a tool like Eppo, I understand just how much time that process of data wrangling and, running statistical models on top of that stuff takes, right? Like, it is actually a substantial time suck for most data scientists. Eppo makes that all basically completely automated. You basically just set up your metrics in Eppo and you just attach them to every experiment whenever you launch one. And within a minute or two, you can have that monitoring of results. Go get Eppo. Let Eppo automate that entire process and save you time to go do the things that are more important and more valuable, right?
I feel like the best part about Eppo is that we don't have to think about it. It just works. And I feel like the best tools are kind of like that.